A very good morning to all. Welcome to the BA second year class of English again. So we have done Act 3 so far of the play Macbeth, and now we are doing Act 4. So in scene 1 we can see that in the earlier act we saw that Macbeth is very worried and his guilt conscience is not allowing him to be peaceful, and he wants to be answered about the questions about his future. So for all his queries and tension and his pressing thoughts about the future, he goes back to the witches to relieve his tension. So now when he comes, he sees that the three witches are circling a cauldron. A cauldron means a big pot which is boiling the oil or something. So they have circled a big cauldron and mixing in a variety of grotesque ingredients while chanting, and they are also chanting hymns of double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. So now they are planning some more mysterious conspiracy for Macbeth. So now Hecate, the queen of the witches, appears and they sing all together, and Hecate leaves. Then Macbeth enters and he demands his answers. He demands the answer to his pressing questions about the future. So when Macbeth knows that Macduff and Malcolm has joined their hands and they might attack him, and what will happen about his future, or whether the sons of Banquo will be the next kings or not. So all these questions have surrounded his conscience, and now he wants to be relieved of this pressing thoughts. So the witches complete their magic spell, and now they summon forth a series of apparitions. So now they are calling the supernatural aspirations, supernatural effigies to answer the questions of Macbeth. So the first apparition is, what is the apparition? It is an armed hat that warns Macbeth to beware the Thane of Five, which means to beware Macduff. The second apparition is a bloody child who tells him that none of women born shall harm Macbeth. So the child says that none of women born, who is born of woman's womb, can harm Macbeth. So this news boosts up Macbeth's spirit, and he feels safe. The third apparition is a crowned child with a tree in his hand, who says that Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him. So now again he feels very confident and very safe, because since he knows that nothing can move a forest. So the two prophecies that none of woman born shall harm Macbeth, and no one can kill him until the Birnam wood or high Dunsinane hill shall come against him. So the apparitions presented by the three witches makes him feel a bit confident and safe. Now Macbeth proceeds to ask his last question: will Banquo's children ever rule Scotland? So the most troubling question that troubles his soul and conscience is being asked here from the witches, to which the cauldron sings and a strange sound is heard. So now the supernatural power and the magic spell of the witches have sunk, and the witches now show Macbeth a procession of kings. So the eighth of whom holds a mirror in his hand. So he can see the procession of the kings, the apparitions of the kings, out of whom one holds the mirror in his hand, and followed by Banquo. So that means that this is the line of kings, and Macbeth realizes that they are indeed Banquo's family line. So now, after the witches dance and disappear, Lennox enters with the news that Macduff has fled to England, and Macbeth resolves that he will henceforth act immediately on his ambition. So he knows that now he might be attacked. So the first step he will do to seize 5 and kill Macduff's wife and children. So as is told by the witches that he might be harmed by Macduff, so he plans, as Macduff fled to England, he plans to murder his family, Macduff's wife and children. Then we see that in scene 2, at 5, Rose visits Lady Macduff. So 5, that means the kingdom of the state of Macduff, but Macduff has fled to England for some help against Macbeth. So now Lady Macduff and her son and Macduff's son are alone in 5, and they are frightened for her own, and Lady Macduff is frightened for her own safety now that her husband has fled. So then Rose, the lord of Macduff, reassures Lady Macduff by telling her that her husband did only what was right and necessary. So he assures him that she will be safe because Macduff will return along with England's army. So now, after he leaves, Lady Macduff engages her son in a conversation about his missing father, and the little boy demonstrates wisdom well beyond his years. So we see a very emotional scene, conversation between the Lady Macduff's wife, and his son. So a very emotional scene is being presented here. So now, but this sentimental scene is converted into a cruel scene when a messenger interrupts them with a warning to flee the house immediately. But before Lady Macduff can escape, the murderers who were sent by Macbeth attack the house and kill everyone, including Lady Macduff and her son. So we can see that the one sin which was done, which was the initiation of the first of the whole line of sins, that Macbeth first killed Duncan, now has given rise to another sin. So Macbeth is committing sin after sin, murder after murder, to save his throne of Scotland. So now we can see that Macbeth, a very sensitive soul, a very human soul, who had a tragic flow of over ambitiousness, is converting now to a villain, to a cruel soul who is ready to kill everyone who comes in his path of becoming the king. And now he is started killing even the innocent ladies and children. So after killing Duncan and Banquo, now he has killed Lady Macduff and her son. So let's see what happens in the next scenes. Then in Act 4, Scene 3, we see that Macduff arrives at the English court and meets with Malcolm. So Malcolm, remembering his father's misplaced trust in Macbeth, decides to test Macduff. So now Malcolm is also not sure about Macduff's intentions, so he wants to be assured of Macduff's loyalty. So he confesses that he is a greedy, lustful and sinful man who makes Macbeth look like an angel in comparison. So now Malcolm is also not sure about Macduff's loyalty. So Macduff despairs and says that he will leave Scotland forever if this is the case, since there seems to be no man fit to rule it. So what he says, that when Malcolm questions his dignity, Macduff's dignity, then Macduff says that now and then everyone should leave Scotland, because if I am not loyal, then nobody else is loyal in this kingdom. Upon hearing this, Malcolm is convinced of Macduff's goodness and reveals that he was merely testing him. So now Malcolm has none of these faults to which he has just confessed. So now Malcolm is firm about Macduff's loyalty, and he claims that the first lie he has ever told was this false confession to Macduff. So he then announces that Seward has assembled an army of 10,000 men and is prepared to march on Scotland. So now Macduff and Malcolm are going to attack Scotland or Macbeth. Then a messenger appears and tells the man that the King of England is approaching, attended by a crowd of sick and despairing people who wish the king to cure them. The king, according to Malcolm, has a gift for healing people simply by laying his hands. So now we can also see that the King of England is also approaching, and who is a very kind king. So he will also be supporting Macduff and Malcolm against Macbeth. So now we see that Ross arrives from Scotland and reports that the country is in shambles. When Macduff asks about how his wife and children are, Ross first responds that they are well at peace, but when pressed further, he relays the story of their death. So now Rose also arrives, the Lord arrives, and he let Macduff aware of the death of his wife and his son. So Macduff is stunned and speechless, and Malcolm urges him to cure his grief by exacting revenge on Macbeth. So Macduff is overcome with guilt and sorrow from the murders that occurred while he was absent. So he felt a bit guilty that he shouldn't have left his wife and children alone in Five. So again Malcolm urges him to put his grief to good use and seek revenge. And all three men leave to prepare for battle. So all Ross, Macduff and Malcolm are ready to take revenge upon Macbeth, and they will attack the Scotland army along with the help of the English army. So enough for today. Let's see what happens in the next scenes. Thank you.